Okay, we're back. That was too good. I couldn't like not see her. I didn't want to do. No, that was like too good. I had to see you.
Mm.
Talking about mental health and self care. I mean, you just kind of gave us some of those tips, but what's something that you can use to filter helpful thoughts versus hurtful thoughts? Because I know this is a time where the ants just totally want to attack our brain, and
Yeah.
I think when things like this are happening, we love to be future telling. We love to be psychics, where we know what's going to happen, and we really
Mhm.
don't know anything, and it can just give us anxiety. What do you use to keep yourself helpful?
Communicating with like women I respect. Like I have a few older women that I look up to that aren't in the industry. I call them, and I think talking through what it is you're feeling is extremely helpful.
Yeah.
And I think there's wisdom in all of this with women and with other people, and all of my friends as well will get on calls, or we'll just talk to each other. But sometimes I have to feel it, Miley. Sometimes I got to cry it out, and I've got to release it and just take a deep breath and then remind myself, go back to my tools, which is, okay, where is this coming from? I
Yeah.
understand I'm a big empath, so I feel so much of what the world
Yeah.
is feeling. So maybe I need to take a step back from that, or whatever it is, but also just being there for other people actually helps me too.
I
Um,
agree. It's given
so
me so much light in this time just to be able to connect with people, like you said, people I respect and people that I love and want to hear their advice, but just to know people are there and just to know that people
yeah,
are feeling the same way that I feel makes me feel less alone. Um,
yeah.
so what's your advice for someone who's afraid to talk about mental health? Like, where would you tell people to reach out? I know you work with crisis text line 741 and I know someone will respond. So is that something that you would say to reach out to, or like, how do you talk about mental health?
So recently, I went to one of the best mental hospitals in the world, but definitely in America, McLean's Hospital, and I discussed that after years of going through a lot of different things, I realized that I was bipolar. And so it doesn't scare me once I know it. And I think
Yeah.
people get scared of that, right? They're like, oh, and I've seen it, and I've seen some of it even in my own family where I'm like, what's going on? Where it's just, I'm from Texas. It's not known to like talk about your mental health, or you got to seem cool. And then I see anger built up in children and teenagers or whatever, young adults, because they are wanting that so badly. And so
Yeah.
I just feel like when I finally said what I was going to say, I wanted to know everything about it, and it took the fear away. It was like when I was younger, I was scared of thunderstorms, and my mom bought me all these different books on thunderstorms. So she's like, the more that you educate yourself on this, the more that you're not going to be afraid. And
Right.
it completely worked. And that's kind of something that helps me big time.
That's really good advice. I really like that about buying the books about the thunderstorms, because when you do understand something, you don't think, hey, this is just happening to me. Because when something's just happening to you, then you can't kind of find some sense of maybe tools that you can
Right.
use, and it'll give you a sense of like there's things that I can do, like therapy, that can make me understand parts. I was actually talking about parts of my personality that if I let them control me, they could become negative. But if I learn how to kind of use them for good, like I have, OCD, like I'm pretty obsessive. At a time when I was younger, it used to really drive me, kind of made me feel like I was just too different. I didn't really understand it. And
Mm.
I used to like alphabetize things. Like I couldn't, like I would throw these total fits if I couldn't alphabetize things and all these different things. But now it's been able to help me to kind of learn about it and be able to use it for good and use it for doing things like this and staying
Yeah.
organized, but then also just be able to understand it more. And so it's just really important to understand something that you're relating with or just doing research, and it's a really good tool.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to ask you were, besides obviously like your therapist, what are some reliable sources that are like really close to you in your life? Like crisis text hotline, or what are some organizations that you support that you would encourage people to look into?
So I recently, with along with we were selling some stuff, is that we were donating to the Recording Academy. I had Justin Tranter, who is one of my writers that I work with all the time, and I love him so much. He sent a mass text to people saying this is definitely going to affect our music community, and music makes, I mean, as you know,
Yeah.
music makes you feel, makes you happy, makes you explore different things. And so, the Music Cares is like a part of that as well. So I've donated to both of them because that's also a side of my people. So I'm doing like, I'm trying to do hospitals, and then I'm going to be working with Music Cares, and then I'm not going to stop because I feel, and I talk to my team daily. I'm like, where's the holes here? Where's the things that I can be placed to help in any way possible? So, yeah, there's a couple of other things, but
I love Music Cares. We actually were
yes,
talking about Music Cares and the struggles that independent artists will have with concerts being canceled and venues. And I love what Live Nation is doing with Crew
yes,
Nation, taking care of all the crews. So people are really stepping up in our community, which makes me really, really happy and proud to be a part of it.
yes.
Before we go, I wanted to talk about this tool that I have. Before we go, I wanted to talk about this tool that I have. Before we go, I wanted to talk about this tool that I have. Before we go, before we go, I wanted to talk about this tool that I have. The gravity and let it like just anchor you. So Dr. Amen has this trick, feel great anywhere, anytime, where you anchor yourself to a memory. So even if you're traveling and you have a suitcase, and I was saying that, when I see, like in my suitcase, if I had a yellow sweatshirt, it would remind me of bananas and one time, me and my brother decided we didn't like the way that my parents were running. I'm just so lucky to have that. So that anchors me. What's like a memory in your life or something around you that reminds you, or what's a memory in your life that you like to think about in times where you feel that floaty feeling? Just a really beautiful memory.
Yeah, wow. Born, because difference, but when she came into my life, I remember having the chest to chest moment.
Yeah.
And so when I think of that moment, and it's working. It's working
Yeah.
right now. And I just was overwhelmed. And I think what makes me think of that is like baby smell,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
something that's really, really sweet. And it brings me back to life. It's a life, and it's a part of me in a weird way. So I
So
feel like,
your little sister is 6.
yeah.
Okay, so my little sister just turned 20. It'll change. It will change. Right now, I go between being like the coolest person in the world in her life to like she doesn't know me.
Yeah, right.
So that'll happen. She won't know you at a period of her life. Someone's gonna say like, "Oh, your sister Selena's cool," and she goes, "Who's that? I don't know her."
Exactly. Oh no, you're
Oh
so
yeah, she'll
right.
not know you for a couple of years. That's what happens every now and then. Or like, you know, I'll run into, now Noah kind of goes out. So if I like run into her out and you wave and she's like, I don't know. She hasn't tried, I don't know me yet, but like, it's on the way. It's creeping in, but it'll then come back around.
I think so.
Yeah, it comes back around. Me and my little sister Noah's 20 and I'm 27, and so I give it a couple years, and I think I'll be really cool again.
Yeah, I'm still in the cool zone.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to have you on the show and happy to reconnect with you. And send me butterflies anytime.
Yes,
when
same.
all this is moved on and we can connect, we'll just hug.
Would love that. Thank you, and thank you for what you're doing.
Thanks, Selena. Good to see you.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, my dog is like banging on the door.